Hello and welcome to episode 128 of Daryl Show Your Work. All right, so in this episode, continuing on with the overall theme of exploiting CVEs, this time I'll be exploring a rather famous one here, CVE 2017 0144, Eternal Blue. All right, so before I jump into exactly to what that is, I'm going to preface this video with the usual disclaimer here that any sort of, by saying this is for ethical and research and educational purposes only, and any sort of malicious actions that may directly or indirectly come from someone watching this video, I do not take responsibility for, nor do I condone. Okay, so what Eternal Blue is, a rather sophisticated computer exploit believed to be developed by the NSA that targets a critical vulnerability in version 1 of Windows SMB protocol. The exploit allows remote attackers to execute arbitrary code on an unpatched system and spread malware across networks without requiring authentication. This is a pretty interesting CVE to look up in the research. It has a really interesting history and backstory, and I think there's still some prevalence of it today, with it being patched and unpatched. All right, so anyway, so to get started here, I'm actually going to just jump straight into the Metasploit framework. All right. All right, hold on. Let's move this on out the way as usual. There we go. All right. All clear with that. Okay, so first I'm gonna, as usual, I'm gonna start up the the PostgresqL database, which I'll need in order to run the Metasploit framework, and then I'm going to combine that with the step to start the MSF console. And also forgot to mention I did some pre-recording discovery here. So our target today is at 10.3.27 150. All right, so that's why I'm not doing a whole ping sweep and everything here, since I've already uh, found our target here prior to recording. All right, so I'm going to copy that there. All right, so now that I'm in, let's create a workspace. And I'm going to name this workspace, oops, Eternal Blue. All right. So starting off, I'm going to set the target host as a global parameter, so I don't have to keep setting that, going from module to module here within the Metasploit. All right. So that should already be configured regardless of what module I use during this session. All right. Um, So actually, I'm actually going to, not for discovery purposes, but I'm going to actually run the nmap within Metasploit here. Again, what that would do, that's going to save information about our target host and the different protocols and services that is running here within the Metasploit database, versus if I ran it outside. Uh, I will probably have to save that within a document, and then upload it or transfer it to Metasploit, which I have a video which I showed how to do that. But it's a bit easier just to run it inside of Metasploit, where it retains the information automatically without having to do that. All right, so I'm going to run a send scan, which allows me to run a bit more stealthy here. And then I'm going to run a service version scan, which is going to tell me what services are running on our target host. As soon as there we go. I'm not sure what's happening there. All right, and then I'm gonna do an operating um, system discovery scan. and then give it the target host's IP address, and let's get this running. All right, so ultimately, I'm looking to see if port 445 is open. Since again, this is an SMB related vulnerability, so I want to be able to see if that SMB related port is open, and also to verify whether or not this is a Windows host, since SMB is native to Windows platforms versus Samba, which is native to Linux. So I just want to make sure those two things. So that's why I'm running a service version scan, and then I'm also running a operating system discovery scan. Just giving this a few seconds to run. It may be kind of long here, but it shouldn't be too long. Excuse me. All right. Looks like it's all done. So well, we look here as far as operating system information. It looks like it's guesstimated that it's running either 2008, so Windows Server 2008 revision 2, or Windows Server 2012. So it hasn't necessarily gave a concrete answer as far as what operating system is in use, but at least I know it is a Windows instance. So now I need to scroll up a bit to see if it's actually running a SMB, which looks like it is. So we can see those SMB ports are open. That 445, that's the port that I'm going to be targeting. But the other related SMB ports, 139 and 135, are open as well. And we can also see port 80, HTTP, port 22, SSH, and port 21, FTP, all open. Excuse me, as well. So now that I know that that the SMB port is open, if we wanted, let's say I wanted to do just some at any point during this, I just wanted to do some enumeration here and see that just to get some basic information about our target host, I could just type in host, and this is why it's important to run nmap within the Metasploit, because if I'm using Metasploit anytime, I could just show this shows the IP address, the host name, the operating system, which is actually very interesting, since we were told here by nmap that it's running Windows Server 2008 revision 2, or server Windows Server 2012, but this is saying that it's actually running Windows 7. So that is interesting, and it tells us that it's a client machine. Again, if it's running server, that's real interesting how this is conflicting with this. Um, and then let's say we want to know, to just get a list of, just we want to take out all this noise here, and we just wanted to just see the services that are running at any point. All right, and then that this is going to just show everything that's running on this target host. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I actually want to be able, now I want to be able to verify what version of SMB is running on this target host. 'Cause remember my explanation in the beginning, this only affects SMB version 1. So I want to be able to confirm if our target host is running just version 1 of the SMB protocol, and this information here doesn't really give me that information. So I can run an auxiliary module here that specifically will target and verify the version of, or excuse me, enumerate the version of SMB that is running on our target host. All right, so to do that, I'm just going to search for it. I'm going to say search SMB underscore host. Oh, excuse me, underscore version. Sorry about that. All right, we have a winner. So SMB version detection. So I'm going to say use 0. All right, and let's see. Let me go to show options. All right, so as you can see, our host is already set because I set that as a global parameter as soon as I got into Metasploit. So the only thing I really need to set here is the R port, which I'm going to target port 445. So I'm going to say set R port to 445. All right, and that should be good to go as far as running. So I'm going to say run, and let's see what it comes back with. So it says SMB detected versions 1, comma 2, preferred dialect 2.1. So it's not, it's telling me what the preferred dialect is, but it's not telling me whether it's 1 or 2. So it's basically telling me it could either be 1 or it could be 2, but it's not really giving me a clear answer. So I'm gonna try to run this, and if it runs successfully, it's basically going to verify that it's actually running SMB version 1 here, which is the version that is vulnerable to this exploit. All right, so I'm gonna open up another terminal. I'm gonna leave MSF console running, but I want to search for this particular. I'm gonna use searchsploit to see if I can find a particular this particular exploit here, and then I'm gonna come back to Metasploit and then actually run that exploit if I can find it. Okay, so I'm gonna go to searchsploit, and I'm gonna tell it in quotes, Microsoft Windows SMB in quotes, and then I'm gonna pipe this and grep anywhere basically within this database that has Metasploit. All right, so the idea is I want to be able to find any sort of exploits that specifically target Microsoft Windows SMB, and I want it to be a Metasploit modules. All right, so something that I could find within the Metasploit framework. See, it didn't like something. Did I spell something wrong? Oh, I forgot the S out of searchsploit. All right. All right, we have a few here, so let's take a look as far as the one that I want. So we have a lot of eternal related ones. So the one that I want, it looks like it's the second one here, all right? This eternal, even though it does nothing says eternal blue, um, I want to be able to use. I'm looking at this as MS17-10 010. That's the Microsoft ID, and that's matching exactly what I want. It just doesn't specifically say Eternal Blue. It says everything else except for Eternal Blue. It says Eternal Romance, Eternal Synergy, Eternal Champion. But this MS 17-010, this is actually what's telling me what I want here. And it looks like this is just scanning to see if this has been actually been ran against the target. So that's not what I want. So I want to actually do the SMB remote code execution, since that is the nature of the exploit. All right, so basically I'm looking for this. So I need to go back to Metasploit, and let's see. I'm going to search for anything that says eternal. Let's see what I find here. All right, so we have quite a few things here. So I'm actually first, I think I want to, before I try to run this, I want to run this auxiliary scanner here, which is going to look to see if this I don't think this is the right one actually, but there should be another auxiliary. Here we go, right here, number 24. um Basically I want to be able to see, run the scanner to be able to see if this is indeed our target host is indeed vulnerable to this exploit, since I wasn't able to get necessarily a clear answer with that SMB version of scanner, as far as whether it's running SMB version 1 or 2. This should help narrow it down as far as whether or not it's just vulnerable to EternalBlue at all. All right, so what I'm going to say here is use 24, since that is the module ID. All right, so I think that should be good to go. I'll go to show options. I don't think I have anything to set there. Nope, nope, everything is already set. Of course, our R host is set, and then our port is already set to 445, so I should be good to go. So let's run this. And bam, all right, here we go. So it says host is likely vulnerable to MS17-10 10 10. All right, so that Microsoft code is equivalent to the CVE, all right, that I read in the beginning. So it's let me know that more than likely it is this is vulnerable to the EternalBlue exploit. All right, so the next thing I want to do, let's scroll back up, and let's see if I can find on that list here, if I can actually find the exploit. All right, let me see. Am looking for not PS exec. I'm actually looking for eternal. Here we go. Right at the top. All right. Exploit Windows SMB MS17 010 EternalBlue. So that's what I want to use. All right. So Avery says EternalBlue SMB remote Windows kernel pool corruption. That this is the exploit that I want to use here. So since we can see, since at the very top we know that it has a module ID of 0, so I'm gonna say use 0. All right, let me go to show options just to make sure there's nothing that I have to configure. Let's see, let's go up a little bit. Nope, our host is set, RPORT. We're not targeting any sort of SMB domain. We don't have any credentials. Our L host looks good. That's my IP address. L port is fine. So I should be good to go. All right, so let's exploit this, and let's see if we could get a interpreter session. All right, and we can see it looks like everything is running the way it should. So it looks like it does a scan for you in the beginning too. So I didn't actually have to run that scan. Part of the module runs the actual scan for you, but I mean, it's always good to know, not to waste my time in trying to attack something that may not be vulnerable. But anyway, we got our interpreter system here, so showing you now that I actually have access to this target host. Some of the things we could do now that I have access to it. Let's just find out some more information about our target sysinfo. All right, so you can see it actually gives me a 64-bit interpreter session, and it's actually is running Windows Server 2008 revision 2. So I'm not sure why when I was typing in host, it told me Windows 7. I'm not sure. It looks like Nmap was more accurate with this prediction than, excuse me, than Metasploit was, and it's running on a 64-bit architecture. All right, so also let's say I wanted to see who I'm logged in as and get a good idea as far as my level of privileges. I have full system authority. All right, so with that said, some things now that I can do, now I have full system authority. I could do a hash dump and get the hash credentials of the users on this machine, and to try to begin cracking them. I'm just going to dump the hash. I'm not going to try to hack them here, but now I have the password hashes for administrator and all these other Star Wars characters that we see here that apparently have accounts on this machine. So that is Eternal Blue. Again, this is why patch management is important, to make sure that you patch those CVEs, because this is a pretty a nasty one, with again with a very interesting history to it. I would just advise anyone interested to just to kind of read up and look on this, especially with the NSA's involvement and everything like that. But um, but yeah, so this brings me to the end of my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.